Okay, just waiting notification. Boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this afternoon. We have two great guests with us that I'm very humbled would take time out of their busy schedule to give us some information as well as some inspiration. And that is none other than the activist, Brother Deric Muhammad, and the amazing DJ holding it down in Columbus, Georgia, Brother Mike Soul, who's doing a great job. First of all, assalamu alaikum, family.
Wa alaikum salam.
I'm sorry.
Excellent. This means so much that y'all would take time out of your busy schedule. So many people are in need of good news. Is the reason I started this segment on the People's Podcast, and I wanted to just hear from people who were, sharing inspiration via social media that inspired me, and I wanted to share that with the viewing audience. Thank you all for coming on. I want to thank everybody for watching and continue to watch. The first question that I have for you, we'll start with you, brother, the DJ, Brother Mike Soul. What has motivated you to keep going during these tough times?
Great question. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Brother Joshua, for that question. And assalamu alaikum. And a shout out to all your viewers and everybody tuning in, tapping in, and all your supporters, your sponsors as well. Thank you for having me. What has motivated me, brother? I got to start with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, of course. And, after that, my family, my wife, who's a nurse, she's out here on the front lines, treating COVID patients every day. I've got, my children as well. We got a house full, my family as well. And that's really what has motivated me to keep going. The FOI, shout out to our mosque here and our leadership team here, the brothers and sisters, just surrounding myself with positive people, positive vibes, positive energy. That's really what's kept me motivated, and fired up, juiced up. I want to say Final Call Radio, that's my routine. I can't leave the house without tapping in, and getting fired up and motivated. So, in a short, that's definitely what has motivated me. From Allah, of course, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, their words, their teaching, and then my family, and those, my staff here at the radio station, really great, being around great people, positive people. Yes, sir.
Excellent. Beautiful. My sister Miriam sends a greetings. Welcome, salam, Mimi. Brother Deric, the same question to you, sir. What has motivated you to keep going during these tough times?
People like you, Brother Josh. Yeah. But first of all, let me say thank you so much. It's an honor to be on the People's Podcast. What has motivated me to keep going through tough times? Number one, we're always driven by the suffering of our people. That is what drives us. And our relentless, undying quest to relieve that suffering is the driving force to keep you going, keep you working, even under circumstances we've been given, like the COVID protocols. So that has kept me going. The promise of Allah and our belief in that promise, that on the other side of all of this suffering, that our people will be the new world rulers. I really believe that. That has kept me going. So, many things have kept me going. The preparation for tough times. Most of what we're seeing as believers, we were already taught that these things were going to take place. We didn't know when. We didn't know exactly how. We didn't know by what means and methods these things would take place, but we knew that these tough times were coming, and we were taught and trained to be prepared. So to some degree, if you were prepared for some hard times, then that helps you to push through it. Now, that's the what has kept me going. Inside the what is also the question who. Who has kept me going? First and foremost, Almighty God, Allah, has kept his hedge of protection over myself, my family, the believers, friends. You know, some have survived, some we've lost, but Allah has been merciful to us.
Yes.
Allah has kept me going. The leadership and the guidance that he's given us through the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, through our beloved Minister Farrakhan, has kept me going. Knowing that as a man, I am the number one protector and provider for my family, that has kept me going. My 91-year-old grandmother, who is my inspiration, has kept me going. Knowing that I cannot allow myself to, fall, and we all fall. Falling is part of life.
Yes, sir.
But staying down, that's a choice in life. So I can't allow those who depend on me, like my mother, as a source of strength. She's my source of strength as well, to see me down. So that's a dynamic question, my brother. That's not a static question. What has kept me going? First and foremost, who has kept me going? Almighty God, Allah. And what has kept me going? It is his promise.
Beautiful. Excellent, excellent. And Sister Aisha sends the greetings to you all as well. Alaikum salam, Sister Aisha. And thank everybody for watching this podcast. Okay, boom. My next question is for you, DJ Mike. So how has, for people who aren't necessarily believers or in the nation, what advice would you give to them on how they should stay positive during the pandemic?
Man, thank you for that question as well. And these are great questions, Brother Joshua, because that is what sustains us through this time. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, as Brother Ishmael was saying today. And, and that's, we walk by faith, not by sight, and that's just relying on, that belief. And, to those who may not be of the faith, latch on to some faith, because the blueprint, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, was the Million Man March. Well, that wasn't all Muslim. that was everybody, from every walk of life, every faith. So find something, because just like Brother Ishmael was saying today, it's in our nature, as the minister says, it's in our nature to latch on to a higher belief, a higher power. So, it's in us already as a people. And once we tap into that, then that will help us and push us through these tough times, So to anyone out there, struggling or thinking about, tap in, go into that quiet space, go into that closet, get to yourself, or get with someone you trust, get with someone that that will motivate you and become that mentor to you. Find someone, we're out here, in everywhere. So in every house, no matter what faith you claim, claim it, latch on to it, and that's going to help sustain us, as we go through, these tough times. So anyone out there, I would say that, find that source, and hey, come this way. You already, come this way. Look at the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan as a source. Look at YouTube, watch those videos. Tap into Final Call Radio, pick up the Final Call. I gotta say that, Brother Joshua, because that's what we have. And then there are other sources, and those that know me know, I don't hold that against anyone. What your faith, what your belief is. No, we're going to work through the differences and get to what unites us. Well, what unites us is the struggle right now. What unites us, not just, what side of town we live on, what set we claiming, what color we are, but struggle has got everybody, trying to figure it out. So, that's what I would say, latch on and find that. And when you do, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right.
Beautiful. Praise. Excellent, excellent. And Brother Deric, you working in the community, dealing with people of different faiths, what advice would you give to someone who wasn't in the nation on keeping?
What I've been saying to my brothers and sisters who are searching for strength is, check your pedigree, check your DNA. What did Kendrick Lamar say? I got royalty, I got loyalty inside my DNA.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everybody's complaining about 2020. And trust me, 2020 was a rough and tumble year. And my condolences go out to anyone who lost a loved one during the coronavirus pandemic, during the escalated homicide rate. I mean, it was a tough year for a lot, but we've been in this country for 466 years. And Brother Josh, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. When you look at that 466 years, I don't think 2020 was the toughest year for Black people. I don't think 2020 was the toughest year for Black people. You know, there was a time when our ancestors were hung publicly just because they had the desire to read.
Right.
You know, the desire to be free from physical bondage, caught, burned alive, burned at the stake. And the reason I say check your pedigree, check your DNA, is because if we can get through that, then we can get through this. It starts with a mindset. It starts with a mindset. And when you look at what our ancestors had to suffer, 2020 was lightweight. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but 2020 was lightweight, you know? I mean, think about it. Okay. How spoiled are you if the only thing that's troubling your life right now is the fact that you have to wear a mask? You know, the Bible says that we as a people are a people that have been robbed and spoiled.
Yes, sir.
So I think 2020 forced us to dig down deep to see what it is that we were really made of. And so, like Kendrick Lamar says, I got loyalty, I got royalty inside my DNA. You also have resilience inside your DNA. And even if you are a Christian brother or sister, the Bible teaches us that God will not put more on you than you can bear.
That's right.
And I agree with Brother Michael. Latch on to whatever it is that makes you strong. That's the only way we're going to make it through these times. And those things that you know weaken you. Some of us have habits that weaken us. Some of us have comfort zones that we know that weaken us. Some of us have associates. We have to plug into the source of strength, which is Almighty God, Allah, and the God in one another. We got to stay plugged into that source. And the more we do that on the daily, the stronger we'll become. So, like my brother Abdul Qiyam said one time, he put this on social media. Say, don't pray for easier times. Pray for a stronger back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's what I pray for all my brothers and sisters, that our backs will be strengthened, that we will unite and not only overcome these rough times that are before us, but that ultimately we would turn these lemons into lemonade.
Beautiful. I want to thank you, Brother Deric, and of course, Brother DJ Mike Soul, and everyone who's watching on the People's Podcast. My sister Miriam, thank you, Mimi, for sharing it. And she said the People's Podcast has helped to keep her motivated during this pandemic. Thank you, Brother Josh, for the consistent and necessary. Thank you, Mimi, very much. Okay, boom. My next question for you, DJ Mike Soul, is, how can people, you spoke earlier of people reaching out to you. How can people reach out to you? What is your social media? And can people email you? Can they DM you or inbox you if they're going through some things? And I'm gonna come to you, Brother Deric, with the same question.
Okay. Thank you for that question, because being on Clubhouse lately, and we talked before the show about Clubhouse, that is really opened another avenue for communication, and connecting with people. So DM me. I'm on Instagram at Mike Soul 105. I'm on Facebook, as you mentioned, because Columbus is a Facebook market. Different cities communicate different ways. Columbus is a Facebook market. Anything goes down in Columbus, you can find it on Facebook. I promise. That's why you see me going live on Facebook, trying to tap in, to our community here. But certainly Clubhouse, Instagram, Twitter, by all means, email, same thing, MikeSoul105@gmail. I'm open, brother. I'm here to serve, here to help, here to work with anyone, so let's work, let's build, hit me up.
Beautiful, beautiful. And for you right there, how can people reach out to you?
You can just find me on social media. My social media handle is Deric Muhammad. That's at DericMuhammad. I'm active on Instagram. I'm somewhat active on Facebook, and I'm active on Twitter. I need to be more active, but you can reach me there. You can email me if you have a specific concern at dericmuhammad@gmail.com. And if for some reason you just can't get me, you can reach my assistant. Her name is Kamisha Gaither. That's KAMISHAGAITHER, and she's on Facebook all the time. She can get to me if others can't. But I think that's a good question for you to ask, Brother Michael and myself, because we're treading some dark waters right now.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we're in some real quicksand. And this is not something that any of us can make it through alone.
Right.
And I think we have to focus more on checking in on one another, checking up on one another.
Yes, sir.
So if you need me, I'm here. But I want to encourage everyone else who might be listening to this podcast to find a way to make yourself available to those who might need you for whatever reason. And let me tell you something, there's somebody out there that needs you for something. Mm-hmm. So please make yourselves available. I think that's going to be the panacea. That's going to be the medicine. That's going to be the key to get us through all of this, my brother. It's going to be our unity.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. Praise the Lord. Excellent. And thank you all again. DJ Mike Soul, yes, should we be afraid of what's coming this year?
No, sir. No, not at all. No, sir. And that's where we have to tap into that higher power, that source. And then, that I got to say it, that Jesus in our midst,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I just, hands down, hands up, if we are to go where he says go and stay away from where he says stay away from, I promise you, I'm here to lay it on the line today. If you go where bro. Yes, let's go about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and stay away from where he says stay away from, you will be okay. You will be successful. You will make it. I'm here to say it. And I gotta be emphatic about it because right now the issue is the vaccine and who's gonna take it and who's not gonna take it. Well, you already know we're not taking it. We're not. And so the fallout right now is, and I'm saying, I'm praying for those that I know that have taken it. And when they post, I've taken my first dose and I'm waiting on my second, I'm just praying. But our minister has asked us to direct others to do the same thing. So I'm saying, don't take it. And then we get in a back and forth where that's concerned. But I have a queen who's in the medical field and she ain't taking it, but again, and some of her other constituents who know they're not taking it. So have no fear, fear no one but God. I got to say that and be emphatic about it. And you will be okay. But no, sir, no fear, no fear at all. We just got to get up each and every day, give it our all, live it like it is our last, because it very well could be. And for those who have, and thank you, Brother Deric, for acknowledging those who have passed, and our prayers certainly go out. And as the minister said, they are martyrs. I remember being in New York before, at the marriage retreat, before Brother Student Minister Hafiz, passed away as well. And peace and blessings to his family and the believers there in New York. And I just remember that brother and his beauty. And then to have that happen was an eye opener and an awakening for us too. But then it started happening everywhere, even here locally. A brother, one of my fraternity brothers, lost his mom and dad within 30 days. But you know what? The brother is inspired. He's motivated. He's, he and his wife, they're pushing through. with no fear, and that's what time it is, and that's just my little 2 cents, on that.
So excellent, sir. And I hope everybody stays motivated. And thank you, welcome, Brother Daniel. Thank you for watching. Brother Deric, should we be afraid of the people, just in general? Should they be afraid of what's coming this year?
I'm going to go with Brother Michael and say absolutely not. First and foremost, no matter what religion you may subscribe to, no matter what faith you may use as your source of strength, we're taught to fear none but God.
Right.
We may be taught that in different languages, in different scriptures, in different faiths, but that has to be the foundation of every move that we make. We fear none but God. And I say you should only fear what's going to happen in 2021 if you have just refused to learn the lessons that were taught in 2020. You should probably be afraid if you just refuse to make the necessary changes and adjustments that Almighty God has made it clear that we have to make.
Right.
But as a people, I'm going to say this, and I hope somebody hears the little brother. Fear is something that we can no longer afford. We just can't afford it. Little boy comes to his mom, "Mom, I want a pair of Jordans for Christmas or for my birthday." "How much those things cost, baby boy?" "Oh, they about $250. Yeah. Mama's looking at what's on the table. Okay. This is how much money we bringing in. This is how much it costs to survive. And when she weighs everything in the balance, we can't afford it. When you look at our condition as a people, bro, the wealth gap is not getting smaller, it's getting wider.
Right.
They're screaming Black Lives Matter, but Black families' refrigerators are continuing to empty out. Corporate America is showing Black America this fake love. That's what they call it. It's fake love, bro. They're in apology mode, apologizing for everything. Yeah, they'll apologize with their mouths. But when you look at the statistics, the deeds bear witness that fear is something we can no longer afford. So whether you follow the Honorable Elijah Muhammad or not, I encourage you, study that Black man.
Yes, sir.
And in his teaching, he said that the Black man's greatest enemy is his fear. Fear and ignorance. Those are our two greatest enemies.
Wow.
We cannot afford to be afraid. Be afraid of what? What haven't we gone through already in this country?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
What the hell are you afraid of? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to lose my job. You're already losing them. We already, like everything we're afraid of is already happening. And the reason I'm saying we can't afford fear is because that is what they're weaponizing in order to control us. Brother Michael, why are people standing in lines to take a vaccine that normally it takes 4 or 5 years to develop? They come up with the thing in 6 months.
Fear.
Their consciousness is telling them, I'm a part of an experiment right now. Their consciousness is telling them that. Black folk not dumb. But they have already been so pre-programmed with fear of if I don't take the vaccine, that it is that fear that is driving them to do so. And they don't even see the bigger plan because the fear is what's blinding them. So not only should we not fear 2020, we absolutely don't have it in the budget. Fear just ain't in the budget for Black people in 2021. We cannot afford it. We must only fear God and God alone, because he is the only one that can save us in the midst of this darkness.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful, beautiful. And thank everybody for their comments, and thank everybody for continuing to watch the People's Podcast. DJ Mike Soul, I got another question for you, sir.
Yes, sir.
How has your faith helped you persevere during the pandemic?
Just staying in tune, from our classes to the webcast to the materials to, as I said, I tap into Final Call Radio every day, but also increasing my prayers, my reading as well. That has helped. That's all. That's what I can point to, is that, through study, through prayer, the fast is coming back up. Ramadan is on the way. Y'all get ready.
Yes,
okay. We're going back in, and I'm looking forward this year. I promise you, but that truly, has helped me maintain the balance needed too. When you have family, you have obligations with family, bringing the family together. And my family knows I love sitting down at the dinner table. That's something that I didn't have growing up. So I love dinner. When we have dinner today, it's going to be a celebration. It's going to be a celebration, but I love it, brother. I do. And try to pass that on, but that's what I can point to, is just, tapping into that unlimited source, of greatness, goodness, protection, as brother Deric said, putting that hedge up. And I'm so thankful, for not just myself, my wife, my family. And we have athletes who go out and they've been participating in events and things, and nobody's brought anything home. Praise be to Allah, but seriously though, and I've been around people who have tested positive, and got my test and it came back negative. So, and then also making a physical effort, of also building and boosting our immune system. Family, we have to do that. Don't run from the podcast now when we talk about exercise. We talk about putting in some calisthenics. Don't run, but we got to do that, because it's mind, body, and spirit, and it all works together. So we got to work on this bag of bones, this temple right here. We got to get it right, and I know everybody's picked up some pandemic, pounds, okay. but definitely, that we got to have those spiritual vitamins as well as the physical, get some sun, as the minister said as well, get out, get some. So all of that, together, I think has really, helped us and helped me in particular, get through.
Beautiful. Excellent. And I'm coming right back to you, Brother Deric. Sister Tracy says, yes, sir, fear weakens the immune system. Thank you, Brother Fatir, for posting. Mimi says, all praise to Allah. Brother Raymond, I see your question. And Brother Deric, for you, how has your faith helped you during the pandemic?
Bro, were it not for the faith in Allah that I'm lucky to have. I'm going to say I'm lucky. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, you can consider yourself lucky. Woo. I don't know what kind of condition that I'd be in. Now, I went through that entire tirade about how we can't afford fear. But at the same time, I got to be real. There were times in 2020 where I was scared as hell. Scared as hell. Well, let me not say scared as hell, but I'm shaken up. Trials with my family. Yeah. My grandmother, got really ill a couple of times. It's touch and go, My aunt, she caught COVID, who I'm very close to. She's in the hospital. There's no way to come visit her. You have to rely totally on Allah when He's taken the power from you that you thought you had.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, just little things like someone who's very close to you has now contracted the coronavirus. They're in the hospital, and you can't even go and be at their bedside.
Wow.
Very difficult, you know. I am a mentor, at least I'm striving to be a mentor to many teenagers.
Mm.
You know, I started off 2020 with a Saturday school where we met every Saturday, and I was striving to be an intricate part of their lives, an impactful part of their lives, a father figure. And that got busted up. And I realized how much that those young men had become a part of me. And so having to, you know, not being able to be there with them and put my hands on them, you know, not like this, but you know what I mean. And,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And just be in close quarters with them. A lot of adjustments had to be made in 2020 that were very difficult.
Yeah.
But, you know, were it not for me having been taught where the true source of strength is, in 2020, bro, I just had to go back to basics, man. I had to get back to basics. Prayer, fasting, how to eat to live. And from that perspective, 2020 was a blessing. You know, my grandmother has a saying that what don't come out in the wash comes out in the rinse. That's something that the elders say down south. What don't come out in the wash comes out in the rinse. Like what didn't come out in the wash in 2019 came out in the rinse in 2020. So I'll be the first to say that I've had some very difficult struggles in 2020. But my faith in Allah has kept me. And let me say this too, you know, and this is mostly for followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. There's so many things that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught in the 50s about the fall of this nation, the decline of the dollar, America becoming a friendless nation. There's so many things that he taught in the 50s, and he was literally branded a lunatic for the things that he said. And some of us were branded lunatics for believing in the things that he said. But in the span of that 1 year, bro, so many things happened that were painful to watch, created conditions that our people suffered under, our families suffered under. But your faith was strengthened and to some degree justified because you knew that this Black man from Georgia told us this decades ago. And if he was right about this, what else was he right about? And to that degree, my faith was strengthened in that if I never made a right choice in life, becoming a follower of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad under the leadership and guidance of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, that was the right choice. And I say that to anybody, Muslim or non-Muslim, that was the right choice, because so much of what everything that we saw, he already taught. And to that, and when you look at it from that perspective, many of us were to some degree mentally prepared for it when it came, because he had already prepared us. And all praise is due to Allah for that.
Beautiful, beautiful. And thank you both again, Brother Deric and DJ Mike Soul. Thank you, Sister Tracy. Thank you, everybody who's watching. Sister Keisha Dent says, I'm so glad to be tuned into this podcast. I did everything right and was so sick from the virus. I signed myself out of the hospital because I refused to be transported to be put on a ventilator in another state. Wow. I had double pneumonia and I was so sick, I saw death. I was afraid to go to sleep at night. I thank God for a good friend who's a MD who came daily with her PPE and cared for me at home. I can appreciate life because I know what it's like to face death. faith. Thank you very much, Ms. Keisha Dent, for your testimony. Okay, beautiful. I have just one more question for both of you all. But before we get started, I want to make sure that I give a special shout out to 60-second commercial break to the sponsors of the People's Podcast. It is because of you that we are able to keep going. Thank you very much. Please Cash App or dollar sign the People's Podcast for all of this people who would like to make a donation to the People's Podcast, all of the sponsors. My brother Rashad, Street Premiere Media Production, 4K camera, drone. He works on television and film editing. Thank you very much. Street Premiere Media Production. My sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, both of which are on Amazon. Make sure we go out and get that. My sister Naima, Stay On Point Dance Academy, LLC. We love our tiny dancers. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country. Thank you very much. Nations Auto Sales, LLC, out of St. Louis. They sell cars, trucks, and they give them to you all throughout the Midwest. MTS Car Bros, any make, any model, any year, 30 to 50% off. They'll ship them to you right there. Thank you very much. Raising Black Millionaires, Sister Tia Muhammad. She teaches economic empowerment and development to young Black children through flashcards. Brother Kenneth Muhammad, bow tie maker extraordinaire. Ship bow ties to you all across the country. Thank you very much, Brother Kenneth. The Detroit Mecca Project, Brother Kamal. They're fixing up the community in Detroit and making it a safe and decent place to live. Thank you very much for that. Also, Brother Chantel X, he pays truck drivers weekly. They specialize in refrigeration, the X and Express. Thank you very much. The Real Hip Hop Network, they have their own platform. If you can get paid per stream, so if you have talent, please reach out and support your own Real Hip Hop Network. I want to make sure that Brother Jabbar Muhammad, painting, carpentry, flooring, plumbing, etc., Client First Construction in the Chicago area and the Memphis, Tennessee area as well. I'm coming right back to our guest. The Hip Hop Detox, they have a holistic approach to helping and working in the community inside the school system. Thank you very much for the Hip Hop Detox. Dr. Henry M. Carter, King Henry's Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Make sure you go get that. Brother Rashad Muhammad, COVID-19 Disinfecting Cleaning Service. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, AbdulSharif.com. And last but not least, my two books, Cleopatra, which is a children's book on Amazon, and No Father, No Excuse, which is on Amazon as well. Thank you all for your sponsors and donations. Okay, I'm coming back to you, DJ Mike Soul. The question that I have, and first of all, thank everybody who's watching. What action steps would you give to someone to do this month for self-care?
Great question, Brother Joshua. The thing that has helped me in 2021, I'm talking about 2020, I'm talking about 2021 right now.
Yes, sir.
Is developing a routine and a system and sticking to it, so we're not all over the place. And that's what can happen. You wake up. So start your day with prayer, most definitely. You want to tap into your mind, body, and spirit before you even get out the door and tap into this world or wherever else you got to go and do. But do that first. When we talk about self-care, self-love, mind, body, and spirit, prayer, make sure we're eating the best of foods. People always ask me, bro, you look the same like you look. Man, how do you do it? I always got a point, and I put that book up, How to Eat to Live. That is my food Bible. If it's not in the Bible, I don't want it. Okay. But I promise you, that is what has sustained me. And I thank Allah. I thank Allah because for the most part, I really have not been ill. My wife will tell you, she's my nurse. She knows when I'm down, I'm down. But for the most part, and speaking of that vaccination, none of my children have been back. They are hardly ever sick. Hardly ever. And so tap into your mind, body, and spirit, develop a routine daily and stick to it, because if we don't find reasons for success, we're going to find excuses about why we didn't do what we really want to do. So find those reasons and then stick to it. Set up a plan daily, goals daily, not just monthly, yearly, but daily. What am I going to pay a bill? That's a goal. Get it done. But then reward yourself at the end of the day. So keep up prayer, and set goals daily and then journal that. I promise you, in the last 2 weeks, I'm going up. just simply by sticking to a plan, setting some daily goals. And then I found out once I got started, I was like, wait a minute, I'm doing too much. You know, people doing too much, you know, because I put it in categories: personal, family, and then business, you know. So I got personal goals, family goals, business goals, you know, as well. And all of us this year should get a business license. All of us set a goal to get a business license so you can be about the business of life. All right. So that I just want I gotta plug that in though. Please, by all means, set some daily goals, develop a routine, stick to it, you know, pray, eat the best of foods, exercise, don't run, exercise. I found a 15-minute workout. People to say, I don't have time. I don't have time. Yes, you do. Mm-hmm. It's a 15-minute workout. This is a 7-minute ab workout I found one day. 7 minutes? You mean you ain't got 7 minutes? Yeah, you do. Stop lying. All right. But seriously though, those are the things that I would recommend, because I'm doing it, and it's a testament. And now, you know, other doors are starting to open, other opportunities are coming up, you know, just simply by, you know, developing a routine, sticking to it, and then reward yourself. When you hit those goals, reward yourself. Now, I'm not saying go, you know, to a buffet, you know, but get some ice cream if that's what you like, you know, but reward yourself for hitting your goals too, you know. That's it.
Beautiful. Excellent. And great advice. Okay, Brother Deric, what action steps would you give to someone to do this month for self-care?
Yeah, I would have to echo what my brother Michael just shared with us. We must begin to, first and foremost, be honest with ourselves, be realistic about what we have to prioritize when it comes to self-care, because that prioritization looks different for different people. Mm. But it has to be organized. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know,
yeah.
Minister Farrakhan says that an organized lie is more effective than disorganized truth. Mm. And we have to organize everything in our lives to the point to where we're not just setting goals, but we're creating systems. And self-care is something it's systemic, it's systematic in your household. But we have to first identify the different levels of self. Okay, there's the individual, me, Brother Deric Muhammad, that's that self, right? Then there's my family. My family is myself.
Yes, sir.
Then there's my community, you know, my brotherhood, the sisterhood. Yes, that's sir. A different level of self.
Yes, sir.
The masses of Black people, that's a different level of self. So when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, do for self, it doesn't mean be selfish. It means do for self means we must unite and become one, and that self is also collective. So once we identify the different levels of self, starting with the individual, I think that self-care formula can be broken down into 3 different components: mind, body, soul. Mind, body, soul.
Yes, sir.
If you sacrifice either one of those, it's going to affect the other.
Yes,
sir. So starting with the mind, we have to be extremely intentional nowadays about what we allow to come into here.
Yes, sir.
If you watch the vaccine reports on the local and national news all day long, it will create fear.
Yes, sir.
It will create fear in your mind. So whatever that thing is that is your source of information that waters the garden in your mind, you have to dive into that, and you have to unplug from the foolishness on your timeline.
Yes.
Mind, body. You know, if the Bible says that the body is the temple of God, you can't say that you're going to be mindful of what you wear to church, mindful of what you allow into the temple of God that is called the church, a physical building, but at the same time, you put garbage in your body. If you own a nice foreign car, you already know you have to put
93.
You know, what's the middle grade? I just know to punch the button in the middle because I just know you can't put unleaded into a vehicle that is specially designed to function at a very high level.
Yes, sir.
And obesity is a big problem in our community. Diabetes, heart disease,
yes,
big problems in our community. And these are things that make us more prone to catch the coronavirus and die from it. So I think you have to make a commitment to become healthier in 2021. That's mind, body. And when it comes down to your soul, I think the Bible verse says that you can have all the things in this world, but what does it profit you if you lose your soul?
Yeah.
You can feed your mind the best food. You can, you can work out 3 times a day and eat like a rabbit. But if at the end of the day, you have not built your character to the degree that you refuse to sell your soul, then you've compromised it all. So when it comes to your soul, we just have to have it in our mind. Ain't no compromise. I will not be bought.
Yes, sir.
And if we dig our heels in and decide, make a decision that we're going to elevate mind, elevate body, elevate soul. And the more we work on those 3, the closer we get to becoming what we were born to become. And that is a God. But it's going to take hard work.
That's right.
It's going to take hard work. So those would be my comments on that question, bro. Thank you for your question.
Yes, sir. And thank you for your answer. And thank you, DJ Mike Soul. Thank you both. My sister Naima sends a greeting. Sister Pamela K. My sister Miriam says teach. Sister Tracy says teach. Thank you, Sister Pamela K. And Sister Pamela K. sending nothing but love. Thank you for inviting me on your show a few years ago. I didn't forget the radio show. Sister Aisha out of Phoenix says the Holy Quran says we will be tried by something of fear. Being afraid and continuing in spite of it is our goal. Thank you for the words of encouragement. Ms. Keisha Dent says, so true. Once we abandon self, everything and everyone around us suffers because we must love self first. Excellent. Thank you all for your great comments.
May I say one more thing, Brother Joshua?
Yes, sir.
As it relates to self-care, brothers and sisters, make sure that you are dogmatic even, okay? Be bold about it, about spending your money with your own people.
Come on. Yes.
That's part of self-care.
Yes.
That's part of self-care. Man, last weekend I went to a market. They have a farmer's market.
Yes, sir.
All black vendors. Man, I bought something from just about everybody. But it wasn't just about the exchange of money. I felt so good, bro, that my hard-earned dollars went into the engine of a black business in hopes of making that black business stronger so we can create an economy to hire our own children and grandchildren. Yes. So buying black is not just economic. Buying black is spiritual. Buying black is economic activism. Buying black is a way for you to protest the system of white supremacy without ever even picking up a protest sign.
Come on.
You protest with your dollars.
Yes.
And that is self-care as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro. That was burning. Burning on my heart. I had to say that.
Brother Josh,
Thank you, Brother Josh.
Can I tap in on that one too?
That's man. What we talking about? Yes, sir.
I wrote it down, Brother Deric. You took the words right off my paper here. Okay, right off the paper. I had black business, and of course, this goes back to the Million Man March. Being blessed to be there. But to hear the honorable minister and working in Black radio myself, a Black-owned company, which was my prayer. When he said support Black radio, Black television, Black newspaper, let's add in Black podcasts, let's add Black magazines, but Black business is where it's at, you know, and that is, Brother Deric, thank you so much for saying that, because that's exactly what we have to do. We've got to support each other, and God blesses who? Those that have their own and support their own, you know, and that's the way we're going to be free too, as well, as to begin to support our own, help our own, encourage our own, uplift our own, buy from our own. Don't ask for a discount.
Right.
Pay the price. Okay. You pay it with Walmart, pay it with your brother, or pay it with your sister as well. You know, but I'm on a mission in 2021 too, to do the same thing, to bring our businesses together so that we can support each other, you know, encourage even more. And I've seen it happen too during the pandemic, a lot of pop-up shops in this area. So those who are in business right now, keep going, keep networking with each other. Let's pool our resources. Let's use this tool called Facebook and pool our resources and blow up from there.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank you both. I see so many people in the comments. This is the encouragement that the People's Podcast intends to bring every Sunday. The powerful people, powerful guests. Thank you very much for giving us some information and inspiration. May Allah bless you both in your efforts, in your individual life and your family. Thank you again, DJ Mike Soul. Thank you again, Brother Deric. And thank you all for watching the People's Podcast and put it on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe. And I look forward to having you all back on different topics and different subjects, because you all are what the community needs.
Thank you, beloved. May Allah continue to bless you with success.
Thank you. Yes, sir, Brother Joshua. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.